Wow, that's hype. That that looks so good. The Cryptoverse is obviously been making a lot of progress in the last year alone, and as that trailer says, which you might have seen before, playtesting is very close to being announced and released. And from tomorrow, you should be able to sign up and put your name in the hat to make your shot, get involved in that essentially. To talk about Cryptoverse and give us a live demo of how it's looking, and you should see some change from that video to this demo. We've got we're really happy to have Rob and Mal on the stream with us. Hi guys.
Hello everybody.
Hello.
Hi guys. Guys, so Rob, I'll ask you in your own words, how is Cryptoverse coming along? Are you happy? Do you feel good about it?
Yeah. When I look at, we started with, around the kind of the time that the land was sold, we were only maybe halfway to building the team. We had some proof of concept, some initial groundwork that we'd been doing, but the content side was empty. We'd done all the kind of web and tech and the NFT stuff and whatever. We had some proof of concept work, but we were pretty much starting from a blank canvas. And if you look at where we were then to where we are now, just in terms of the features, the kind of flexibility of the features in the Cryptoverse, the beauty of the content, and not just the beauty of the content, but how the content has been created. Malcolm probably speak more technically on that, but it's built scalably with performance in mind. So honestly, I'm absolutely delighted on the whole with where Cryptoverse is and how much progress has been made from kind of the beginning of the year to now is pretty staggering with what I would say is still a relatively small team. Of course, like I think as the tech moves fast and as the kind of the team moves as well, some people added, some people leaving and whatever, you always have challenges. You also have challenges around performance. The more you add, the more kind of I would say you need to amend in terms of it's the kind of the performance of the world or the CBD area and the tools. So I think I've mentioned this before. It feels like all the time 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and it is just a case of nothing's ever finished. But then it mirrors the real world in that sense, right? As new things come out in the world, things change. As things get built, infrastructure's needed to be built. It just mirrors the real world in every single way there. So I think whenever you're creating what is essentially a virtual world from nothing, you're always going to have like new challenges come up. You're always going to have to go back to things that were done before to improve and whatever. So sometimes you have periods of frustration in that regard. You feel like you've kind of like overcome a hurdle and it's like, actually I need to put my leg back over the hurdle again, and you're like halfway there. So but frankly, when you just look at the quality and when you get people come in and actually start to be able to test the tools, it's going to probably even feel more exciting. I think when you just so kind of zoned into the development of the project itself, sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees, but then when you pause to reflect and you zoom out and you look at what is there from where we started to now, quite frankly, it's, as Mal would say, it's a little bit of a miracle, to be honest. So delighted.
Maybe we can share the screen, no, to show.
Yeah. Enough of me rabbiting. Would be better for Mal to show, I think.
I can show, but you're doing a better job talking.
Mal, you can talk about a lot of what we're kind of seeing here, because obviously from a user's perspective, like we see the building, right, which looks obviously fantastic, but there's so much going on here in terms of the proceduralism of the tools, how the kind of the textures are done, and how the whole thing is kind of broken up into segments so that the engine computes it in a different way so that it's more performant. I'm high level in it, but you can talk about the specifics, right?
No, 100%. I mean, that's why it's taking a little bit longer than anticipated, because we really need to get smart about building tools, right? So the tools have to perform everywhere, right? So I don't know, I can give you a couple examples of tools that are developed. So for example, for the paint, something as simple as a paint job in the street, we need to develop a new tool that is basically scattering these paint decals on the street. And we have roads that are curves in curving like this, so it will take a long time to basically scatter line by line, right? So what we need to do is create a tool that is basically automatically scattering those paint jobs on the road. So with this spline, if I, for example, expand the length of the spline here by grabbing the last point, so when I expand this tool, you're gonna see that I'm automatically drawing more and more decals on the road, and everything like this is made up with tools, right? So for example, all the forest that you can see here in the background is also another tool that is basically scattering trees, and we can randomize the size of the tree, the rotation of the tree. We can say where we want trees and where we don't want trees, right? Because it's important to have trees only in the green areas. And also, when I'm scattering trees, it's important that there is no interpenetration, because some trees can go inside, for example, this wind turbine. So I need to be able to tell the tool that, okay, scatter trees in all the green areas, but please don't scatter trees where the wind turbine is. So the wind turbine needs to be like a cookie cutter, so like this, we can scatter trees in the green areas, but also any other type of foliage. So for example, I'm scattering here flowers in this segment here. So the tool is taking an input that is basically this round green area for flowers or whatever, and basically takes one input, and it spits out random instances of the same flower scattered all over the place with rotation, scale, and whatnot. And we can change the type of flower too, and we can put whatever. So basically, we can scatter any input, any type of foliage, and with that type of tool, we can do quickly in all of these locations plants, right? So if I slow down a little bit here the camera, you can see these are all the locations of those plants, right? It's just a couple examples, but everything that we're building is basically decomposed into that type of behavior. One more example that I can give is the lobby areas, right? So all the buildings are using a blueprint that's basically tech inside Unreal that is procedural. So if I show you one of the lobby areas, now I can make this. Let me get out of full screen mode, and I can tell it how high I want the lobby to be. So now it's 19 meters. I can make it 25, 50. So it's basically procedural, right? Like I can change the width, the height, the depth, and I can change the type of pillars. So all of the functionality is implemented in the tool, and we can do all the changes in all the lobby areas that are needed, right? Same thing with the tile in the floor here. Is a tool that we can basically use a pattern that repeats, and then we can make more or less repetitions of this guy in width and length, right? So like this, with these procedural tools, we can set rest much faster the whole Cryptoverse, because remember, this is only one area, right? And we need the tools to be smart to be able to set rest a whole bunch of areas at once. So
fabulous. Mouse, well, it sounds like we're building smart because we're building a massive world and we need everything. We need to be able to create it all as smartly as possible. Are we able to get a character there inside the main CG building and show us what it looks like from the view?
Yes, of course. I can play from here, and I just give it a second. So we
Just
load.
full
Go
screen.
back full screen, Mal.
Okay. 1 second while the computer starts the game. So here we go. So this is the character on an elevator that is working in networking mode. So basically, you and your friends can all jump into this. Sorry about that. Into this elevator, and things like that. You need to consider that when more people are playing the game, there's gotta be replication across the computers, the server, and the clients, right? So this is a really tall building. So I'm going quite high, let's say, to the view. And when I'm playing, you can see the turbines spinning in the background, and I can do. Let me show you. Like we can drive cars, and we can change the character. So, for example, I'm getting here to the top of the building, so it takes like 20 seconds to get that right from the bottom.
And to be clear as well, this is in terms of in virtual space. This is actually bigger than any building in the world in meter size.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. But like once I'm
Jump.
here,
Jump.
first I wanna change the character.
Okay.
So right now I'm a male, but I can change to female, for example, and the change happens on the fly, and now I'm a female character. And also with this character editor, I can change things like the face. We can change the color of the head. Let's make it like red or something like that, so it's quite obvious. The body, so same thing, the body color. Let's make it a red character. And yeah, changes in real time. And now I can jump to a lower area here. So here we go. Or I can jump all the way down to the lobby. Let me see. I think the elevator is gonna be in the way, but or I can jump from outside of the building, so I can get out of the building from here. Here are the flowers that I was talking about before, and yeah, let's jump through here.
So Mal, fall damage is not on. I'm guessing
it's not. Look, you just land, no problem. But we can enable like a ragdoll, right? So you can like fall if you want. That's kind of like the questions we have for the community. I think it could be fun, but it's not on at the moment.
Yeah, I think for some of that's a lot around like how the world building works. To be completely honest, and I think obviously a metaverse is it's not a game, right? It's a social area. There's gamification elements, so to fall and to like get hurt or fatigue or whatever is more like game kind of thing rather than the metaverse. So we've got that sort of thing disabled, but of course, if there's a massive demand for that sort of thing in the community, it's always possible. Anything's possible in a virtual world, but recommendations at the now would be that you wouldn't have fall damage. Obviously, it's mainly focused on the social elements to begin with until we get a little bit deeper with the gamification stuff. Mal, it might be worth like maybe showing the car a little bit, and maybe even the I'm not sure if the builder's actually operating in CBD in this build, but yeah.
Sure. Let me because if I have to run all the way around, it will take a while. So let me.
Yeah, and this is why vehicles are so important. Is like it might take you like 5 minutes to run across here, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because it's so big. Yeah.
This is why we have cars, like
and
if you can
vehicles.
see this red one, that's mine. So I wanted a red car, so at least in the Cryptoverse. So just 1 second, so it starts.
Rob, whilst Mal is driving around and showing us the sites of the CBD area, it might be worth just touching on the upcoming, I guess, early access playtest. That's coming in January, right? And we're going to allow up to 500 people to come and play Cryptoverse, to be the first people ever to test it out, try a bunch of different features, give us their feedback, and kind of have a say in how this thing comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think play testing and checking for bugs, etc., is so important. There's so much like working here and operating at one time, like and obviously we've been a small team, like we just can't do everything. Big game companies that are building big worlds like this will have teams of hundreds of testers, so we have to be smart, and utilizing a really keen community is really important for that. And then of course, like at the same time, we can get some feedback on how things are working and whether people are enjoying it, and obviously look towards like a publicly accessible build in the future after that. So yeah, from there we have to obviously work with the community to make sure that they think that it's ready for that sort of rollout. Here we can see Mao's using the current builder tool. We haven't added lots of features to the build tool yet. It's just obviously making sure it's operating. So right now you can see that we've got a cube working, running on a spline. It's on a spline. So what you're able to do for that is like build walls and foundations, and then from there you'll be able to drag and drop like certain materials on there, for example, to like have a wall material or other. And then obviously we need to provide different shapes. And obviously there were some other assets added in there, but this is working in real time with networking, meaning that when this is open, everybody can run into this blue area, and you can like utilize everything we provided to test out the building. And then obviously that's with a view to when users have their own land, or for those that have their own land, you'll have a similar sort of experience. You'd have like like some sort of perimeter guidance to indicate this is your land, and then you will be able to build out your space from there. And you can see obviously there's collisions as well, which in itself is not easy, but collaborative building is made possible through this because it's all shown on networking, so you can build together with your friends on your land as well. So I think one of the biggest kind of gamification positives of Cryptoverse that no other metaverse offers anything like is real-time building, but not only individually, collaboratively. And obviously we're providing loads of powerful tools to make that happen. So
Rob, check this out. This is the type of considerations we also need to pay attention to, right? But for example, this builder has collisions enabled. So if I'm building and I have another thing there, for example, the car, I can hit it with the builder, and the car is gonna fly around. You see. So it's this type of things that you always have to consider. But I think it would be cool to involve the community to say, hey, do you want this feature in there or no? Because it can be fun, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I think question. To give context, how big would a single plot be in this space, do you think?
It ranges massively, adds in terms of what a single plot can be. But honestly, like this size here, Mao, I'm not sure how big it is, but it's probably not too dissimilar to what a single plot would be, right?
So that whole green area would be the building area. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, this is the building area right now. So this can be your plot, right? But you are allowed at the moment to use the builder in that green area. If I get out of the builder mode, let me just go back to the character, and you see, like if I press B, I can build in this area. But if I get out of the green area, I cannot construct anything.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So this is how it is for the time being, but at some point it's gonna be in your land, right? So you are able to construct in your area and not other people. So
yeah, the same thing with the same thing with the avatar tool as well is that the avatar tool will be like on separate, so it like a separate level, so it won't be like just doing it and doing all the changes in real time in the world, just because that poses quite a lot of challenges. Right now the features built into the actual main project itself for the playtesting purposes, but it will be kind of a separate kind of what we call level. So yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, Ads, or whoever was speaking?
No, I wasn't saying anything, but it looks amazing. I love the scale of it. It looks incredible. Will there be like options for like like default building and that type of thing for those of us who, like me, might not be that good at building?
Yeah, just for drag and dropping. Yeah, there'll be so the kind of plan is that there will be some like basic buildings available for users for like for drag and drop. But of course, like the longer term goal is to get people being able to build their own buildings as well, with different kind of either using the tool or actually content creation tools similar to what our team uses. And we need to have like tools that will automatically check, like if people are building, no, this is no good because it's no good for the engine, there's too many polys, or it's too high, or you're not using like the right textures and these types of things. So that's the kind of longer term goal. And then of course, like, we have to think about, we have to be smart from a business point of view as well. We need to obviously make sure that the project's kind of got ongoing revenue from a funding perspective. So the idea will be as well is that the content creation team will create like, maybe more highly desirable assets that can either be purchased, or there'll be sort of like a subscription model where it's like a sort of like pay per month, and the user can get like a constant flow of assets created by our users, by our team, as well as like other perks. That's kind of like a popular sort of freemium model, free to play, and then you can kind of pay if you choose to get like additional benefits, like whether that be new wearables and like flexible opportunities for the vehicles and this type of thing. So it's always a balancing act, obviously, and we want to work with the community on that type of decision too, as far as possible. But that's generally the sort of format that we're thinking right now, is that we want to obviously enable people to have an enjoyable building experience, but whilst offering kind of benefits for those that are like contributing ongoing.
Thank you, Robbie. And as Mal runs around here, I'll just give some more details about early access that's coming up. So in the early access coming in January, you'll be able to create your own avatar. You'll be able to explore the central business district area. You'll be able to drive around. You'll be able to access the building tools, either doing that alone or as in a team with your friends. Essentially, you're going to see a lot more of this over the coming weeks. It's going to be everywhere. So please do sign up to the playtesting group. Anyone that's already signed up on the website will receive an email very shortly to confirm their place. So thank you everyone for signing up. I think what we'll do is just now announce the Community Member of the Year for Cryptoverse. I think this person needs no introduction. So I'm just going to go ahead and award it to one of the most vocal people we've got in the chat, who keeps us on our toes, tells us when we're right, tells us when we're wrong. And this is exactly what we need in Web3. That's the whole point, right? It's that back and forth. So congratulations to the Cryptoverse Community Member of the Year. I'm not frozen. Crypto Monk.
Congrats, Monk.
Well done, my friend. You have won a lovely single plot of land that you can go to town on in the very near future. Thanks, guys, for the Cryptoverse. Thanks for showing us that. Now we're going to head over and talk around ChainBoost and ChainGuardians with Ryan.